the inaugural of the Norwegian Escape. After 1.5-year construction, it already started at the port of Hamburg, and I would join the ship for you.
Before I start my tour, let's take a look back at the sail-away party. Thousands of people lined the St. Pauli Landungsbrücken to bid farewell to this giant of the oceans. After a spectacular fireworks show, the Norwegian Escape set off on its premiere cruise.
You know, Hamburg's a tremendously important city in the cruise shipping business, and we have a ship built in Germany that we wanted to showcase in one of the most important cruise shipping cities in the world. So we were thrilled to bring the ship in, and the atmosphere sailing out last night was fantastic.
The ship's first official passenger cruise is a 2-day affair. Most of the people on board are from the European travel sector, cruise specialists and port experts. The voyage around the North Sea gives me enough time to explore the ship. Welcome to the deluxe suite. Come on in. Pretty neat.
Yeah.
Hole in one. Can't do better than that. Outside on the top deck, the attractions include an aquapark and a climbing park. This being typical autumn North Sea weather, I decide to go without a dip in the pool, and despite my vertigo, put myself to the test on the very airy aerial climbing park. Let's go. So now what?
Really? Sit down.
Run and sit. Run and then sit.
That was one of the easiest things I've ever done. Now I need a new challenge.
Yes!
Yes! Got it! As the captain explains, the idea is to give passengers as much flexibility as possible in terms of meal times, the availability of all entertainment offers, and in terms of dress code. It's called freestyle cruising.
The concept of the first and second seating and the driving of people into their particular events, this is something that to get from point A to point B. But when you take people to cruise, freestyle just makes perfect sense.
Once it's been christened in Miami, the ship will begin to cruise the Eastern Caribbean. But the NCL shipping company is also looking at Northern Europe.
You know, Hamburg's important. We think it's a big opportunity. Today we're not sailing in and out of Hamburg every week, but we believe it's an opportunity. The Northern European market is tremendously important. It's a very big market, and Hamburg's a great, very well positioned city for Northern Europe, so could be really important.
And Hamburg has the facilities to process these giant ocean ships that can carry more than 4,000 people.
That's
exactly why we built this terminal. Next year we'll welcome a ship that can cruise the year over. And I think that's a trend in the cruising industry, being able to process a large amount of passengers, despite the cool and damper weather here, and ships this big, and that will get bigger in the future. We were right to prepare ourselves like this. After 6 months of testing, we'll see what we have to further optimize here in Steinwerder, and whether we need additional capacity in order to cope with the boom in cruising and make sure that Hamburg profits from it. From a nautical perspective, the Norwegian Escape's undocking and docking worked perfectly. It takes quite a lot of planning to make sure these maneuvers can be carried out smoothly. About a month or a month and a half ago, I had the captain of the ship who was still overseeing completion of it in my office, and we went through the maneuvers with the senior tug personnel. We talked about weather parameters, maximum wind speeds, how many tugs were needed, the currents compared to the wind, and as the captain said, everything worked well. And we agree with that. The Port Authority here already has a lot of experience with some of the world's largest container ships, but the manoeuvring strategies for container giants are very different to those needed for the big cruise ships. Cruise ships have much lower drafts, but they're incredibly high, which means the windage on them is much higher. And there's less resistance in the water compared to a container ship. So they're more sensitive to wind. On the other hand, these ships are more maneuverable. It's not easy, but we'll manage it.
Also es ist nicht ganz ohne, aber das kriegen wir sicher hin.
So the port of Hamburg is well prepared for these giant cruise ships. The Norwegian Escape has already set out to sea, and from the 14th of November, it will spend the whole year cruising the Eastern Caribbean for 7 nights at a time.
And it feels good to be back in Hamburg, and that was the inaugural cruise of the Norwegian Escape. Thanks for watching us. See you next time. As you say in Hamburg, tschüss.